Yes, these are the breaks with myself, Fredo Cervantes. It is May the 23rd, Tuesday. And you know what it is? It's Taco Tuesday. It's ready for tacos tonight. Let's go.
And these are the breaks.
These are the breaks.
You know what it is.
These are the breaks with myself, Fredo Cervantes. It is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in Los Angeles. Maybe not in Crypto.com Arena in downtown Los Angeles, but it is a good day in LA because it's nice and sunny out here. And you know, I honestly, last night, watching the Lakers and the Nuggets game 4, I was confident enough that the Lakers were possibly going to get a win last night at Crypto last night. But watching leads get away from the Lakers in the first 4 games here, because in every game in this series, they had the lead. At one point, they had the lead. And there were a lot of critical situations where there could have been timeouts called. I didn't keep count, but I know it was for more than 5-6 times throughout the series that I heard Jeff Van Gundy, which now I'm a big fan of Van Gundy. I think Van Gundy should be the head coach of the Lakers. I feel that he knows this roster and how to play with this roster and how to use this roster, because he kept calling out every play. Okay, now the Lakers should do this, and it seems like the Lakers at times did the opposite things, and he called out the Lakers when he needed to, and Jeff Van Gundy did not hold back. But there was a couple times last night that there was a situation in the third quarter where the Lakers were up by 15. Then the lead got cut down to 7. Then Darvin Ham decided to call a timeout. Then another 8 points come straight. The Lakers lose the lead. They're now trailing by 1. And Darvin Ham's just standing there with his hands in his pockets. Why? Are you not calling some plays? And I don't want to get too much into the game because I know everyone saw this game and I don't even want to talk about the game. But there's just those critical moments that I saw in the fourth quarter that I'm like, why is Lonnie Walker in the game? I understand Lonnie Walker had an amazing series a few weeks ago, not recently, because recently he has not been playing well. So I understand that right now your backs are against the wall. You're trying to use every tool in your toolbox right now to try to win this game, to save the season. And you're bringing out Lonnie Walker, where there was 2 situations. He took 2 shots back-to-back with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I'm like, you're trailing in this game. Why let Lonnie Walker take some shots when LeBron James played all 48 minutes? And yes, it was the reason why Lonnie Walker took the shots, because Lonnie grabbed the ball, looked at LeBron to his right. LeBron said, that way. And Lonnie looked this way. Austin Reeves was being guarded, so Lonnie's like, okay, I got the ball, 8 seconds left on the clock. Boom, 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 jump shot, miss. Those are critical situations where maybe AD, hey, come up, set a screen, do some movement, do something. But there were situations that there was no coaching at all. And I feel like this is why the Lakers lost. The Lakers did not lose because they didn't have no talent. I mean, look at what LeBron James was capable of doing last night, dropping 40 points, 31 in the first half, 9 in the second half, where he just kind of technically disappeared then. But the Lakers have a coaching problem, and this was my problem all year long. I mean, for the people that have been watching this show, watching Monday Night Fredo for the past year, know what my issue has been with the Lakers and why people around here, Money Mike, like to say that I'm not a Lakers fan, that I should not be rooting for the Lakers. And yes, I became a little bit more of a fan after the trade deadline once D'Angelo Russell and those guys came over, but I was still not a fan of the coaching. I saw a lot, and I'm like, this is not a coach that's going to win the Lakers a championship. Like when Frank Vogel came in, I knew that he was capable of, because he was in the Eastern Conference Finals back-to-back years. He was in the Eastern playoffs every single year. He was known as a defensive-minded coach. So with Darvin Ham coming in, a fresh coach. Yes, you coach with Milwaukee. You were a assistant coach with Bodenholzer out there in Atlanta, in Milwaukee, and we're also an assistant here in LA back in 2012. But I didn't feel that Darvin Ham had a good coaching background and enough to take LeBron in a year 20 and to possibly win a championship. I didn't see that possible, and now we all saw that. We all saw that in the Western Conference Finals. And yes, you got to give the man some credit for getting the Lakers to the conference finals, but give them credit for getting swept in the conference finals, for not making big adjustments when needed in critical situations. Like, I listened to last night's game, the last few minutes of the ball game. I didn't watch it on TV. I turned it off. I turned off the TV. I was listening to my guy, John Ireland, on the Lakers app on my iPhone and listening to the radio broadcast. I didn't want to see with my own eyes. I didn't want to witness that. And so I listened to John Ireland. And when I listened to John Ireland and Michael Thompson, a former Laker championship as well, Michael Thompson was screaming and saying, hey, call timeout, Darvin, call timeout. This was with like 31 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And then you see Darvin Ham running out and say, timeout. And he was so, how can you be indecisive in calling a timeout in that situation when you got 2 timeouts remaining and you're trailing by 3 or 2 at that point? Well, like, why just let the guys go out there and just kind of free for all? Like, this is not a moment where you get to free for all and just kind of play and scramble out there. This is not the time. You're down 3-0, 30 seconds left in the game. You're trailing by 2. This is not a coach. And that's the reason why they were trailing and got swept. And that's the same reason why the Boston Celtics are possibly going to get swept tonight. Because of coaching as well. They got a young guy in Joe Mazzulla. And, you know, Joe Mazzulla was there with the Celtics early in the year and last year as well. But this is the funny thing that you guys are all going to get a laugh out of this. You guys are all going to get a laugh. Jimmy Butler has been known into being a very, very good player in the playoffs, arguably having one of his best NBA runs right now in his career. Jimmy Butler attended Marquette, and Marquette, for the people that know, constantly play West Virginia. Marquette and West Virginia had an interesting game about 15 years ago when Jimmy Butler and Joe Mazzulla, head coach of the Boston Celtics, were playing against each other. And they got heated. They got into it years ago. Now Jimmy Butler is facing them as he's a coach, not a player. So Jimmy has something in him on Joe Mazzulla, on Jaylen Brown, on Grant Williams, and Mr. Al Horford. Because Jimmy Butler is in their heads right now. Like, that's how good he is right now. I mean, he did it to the New York Knicks, and he did it to Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. They've been on fire right now. But the Boston Celtics have the same problem that the Lakers have. How in the world are you not going to have Jason Tatum attempt, not shoot, but not make a basket, but attempt a basket in the fourth quarter? Multiple games this series. Like, how can Jason Tatum not get plays run for him in order to stay in the game? And that's on the coach, and that's not on the players. For a lot of times you hear players and other people say, well, the players got to go after the ball. The player got to go get the ball. Yeah, I get that. But at the end of the day, when you have other players in that team that like to hog the ball, there's no way Tatum's going to get the ball. There's no way he's going to get it. So the coach got to go ahead and, hey, timeout. We're going to run this set. We're going to run this. And off of the rebound, we're going to run this set. We're going to do this. And this is what we're going to do. But the Celtics got a 33-year-old running this team. He's only 2 years older than me. Like, I can be the Boston Celtics coach right now. I can maybe lead this team to an NBA championship. Because I know that if I use Jason Tatum right, if I get Marcus Smart to be smart, if I get Derek White to hit the threes, you get Al Horford to be the veteran down below and doing his thing, and you get Grant Williams to continue to hit three-point shots. The Celtics could be the team they have been all year long. But they're not because of the coach. And some of the players were asked after game 3, hey, you think the coach lost the locker room already? And they're like, well, we don't know. I mean, we're down 0-3, so what do you have to say? Like, if the players have that type of mentality right now when they get asked, hey, you think the coach lost the locker room? And that's the response. And when the reporters asked Joe Mazzulla after game 3, hey, wait, what do you think? What do you think about the players? Do you think you lost the locker room? He's like, well, we gotta pick up all of our play. We gotta be a defensive-minded team. I don't know if they're going to be able to play defense tonight, but tonight on TNT, you got the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat, Game 4 in Miami, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. When we return here on These Are the Breaks.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
Yeah, these are the breaks, man. I got Shaq and Kobe with me here on These Are the Breaks on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. And, you know, we're going to stick with the Lakers right now because there was some breaking news late last night after the game ended and the Lakers got swept. And, you know, the Lakers are currently on their way to Cancun right now to go ahead and visit Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And maybe the Boston Celtics are going to be checking in later on this evening. But LeBron James was asked, like, how do you feel after getting swept? And he said he needs to take some time to really think about what he wants to do and whether he will return next season. Yes, that came out of LeBron James's mouth after finishing his 20th year in the NBA, saying that he might be considering retiring and maybe not coming back and ever picking up a basketball. So we might have seen LeBron James's final NBA game last night. It could have been, I don't believe it. I think that he still is going to give it one more run. I don't think he would leave like this. I think he really wants to have maybe his goodbye tour, you know, and, you know, really not leave the NBA in this way because it just seems like a slap to the face for the NBA. It's like, hey, we didn't prepare for this, LeBron. Like, give us one more year. Let us get ready for this because arguably LeBron is the greatest of all time, and we know that for damn sure. And LeBron James just kind of considering and thinking about his last 5 years here in Los Angeles, which have been pretty much what some people maybe expected, but a lot of people never expected LeBron James to win a championship with the Lakers. Everyone said that LeBron was out of the championship window, and no one ever expected him to win it. And he did get the chance to win it in 2020 with Anthony Davis, and he had gotten close this year to possibly winning another one, winning a 5th one, which now he's stuck with 4, tied with Steph Curry, trailing Michael Jordan by 2, Kobe by 1. It's still hard to believe that he will leave the game, especially when his son, Bronny James, who committed to USC, will be staying in Los Angeles for one more year and will be eligible for the NBA draft in 2024. LeBron James has a player option after next season. So after next season, that's when Bronny is going to be in the league being drafted. He is arguably right now a top 30 pick. Maybe after the USC season, I think he might be a pick between 5 and 15. I don't think he'll be a top 5 pick. I mean, he might shock the world and become something that no one really kind of saw coming. Because his athleticism is pretty good. He can jump, he can dunk, he can shoot the ball better than his father ever did. But I still think he doesn't have the size. He's a 6'5", 6'4" guard. That's typically good in the NBA. It's not too big, not too small, but I think he can have a very good career. But if he's going to be entering the NBA after LeBron James's player option, now that answers a lot of questions for the Lakers. That means that right now Rob Pelinka should not ask LeBron James for any advice on how to move forward with this roster after last night's big blowouts. It seemed like it, because even though they lost by 2, it just seems they blew it. They blew a 15-point lead in the third quarter. You know, going into the half, they seemed locked in. I was like, okay, we're having a game 5 for sure on Wednesday. We're having one, and we did it. So if he does not come back after next season, after that player option, this year, which should be a sellout year, this is the summer that you trade Anthony Davis. You trade Anthony Davis, and a lot of people might say, well, where can he really go? Where can he go where the Lakers can really get younger and better? Ladies and gentlemen, there is one guy out there that fits the description. There's one guy that fits the description who is currently in the playoffs right now. The Boston Celtics are trying to find a way to get rid of Jaylen Brown. They are trying to find someone to take Jaylen Brown, because they clearly know, and that's the reason why they're also trailing 3-0 right now, that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum cannot play together. And you heard me earlier a few minutes ago, I said that the Boston Celtics have a ball hog on that team. Guess who that ball hog is? And yes, do we want a ball hog here in Los Angeles? Why not? There's going to be no LeBron James, no Anthony Davis. You got a young guy who can give you 35 points in any given night. That's what he does for the Boston Celtics at times when he's just on fire. You know, so I feel that if the Lakers and the Celtics can pull this trade off, you put Jason Tatum with Anthony Davis, who's constantly hurt all the time and is inconsistent, and the reason why the Lakers got swept, that's a guy who can now move over with the Lakers and have Jaylen Brown with Austin Reeves and have a good dynamic young core with maybe some picks, because Boston got picks. So Boston will need to give up some picks. LeBron James will walk out this upcoming year, and the Lakers, can really build off of young Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's only 23 years old right now. So when you got a guy that's very much capable of giving you 30 on any given night, 35 to 40 on a great night, and that might be a very good piece and a good scenario for the Lakers to look at, knowing that LeBron James might only play one more season here in Los Angeles. So whether he retires or he walks away to whatever team Bronny gets drafted to, he has a player option. It's not a team option. It's a player option. He gets to walk away. And guess what? Let me just give you a little background on the LeBron James player option situations. When LeBron James has had 3 player options in his career, he's walked away. So what do we expect when LeBron James gets a 4th player option? Is he going to stay or is he going to walk? I don't know. I think he will walk, and this is the reason why Rob Pelinka should start thinking towards the future, and there's a lot of questions to be answered in regarding Darvin Ham. Can he really be a coach in the NBA? Can he be a coach in the NBA? That's a question that I know the answer, but do you know the answer? If you know the answer, write it down in the comments below. Let us know, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Fredo Cervantes. But we will be right back here on These Are the Breaks.
Profanity Nation.
a podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss, raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
These are the breaks. Yes, these are the breaks. And guess who got a break? The Chargers got a break this morning with breaking news coming in. Austin Eckler, running back, who decided to ask for a trade right after the Super Bowl, has now agreed to a new extension with the Chargers. Not a year extension, but it's only going to be extending his incentives. So, of course, the problem with Austin Eckler was not that he didn't want to play for the Chargers, is that he's been playing too good and he wants to be compensated for what his work and all those touchdowns that he's been leading the NFL with for the past 2 seasons. So, I mean, if you're the leading touchdown goer, you got to get paid. And he was only getting paid about $5 million per year. So the Chargers and Austin Eckler finally came to an agreement this morning for an extra couple millions of dollars in incentives. So meaning you score more touchdowns, you keep your touchdown scoring, we will continue to pay you a little more than where you're constantly getting paid. So that is a good sign for the LA Chargers right now in order to kind of maintain this kind of all-star roster, because you got about 6 Pro Bowlers, hashtag all-stars for some people that don't ask me last time, what's a Pro Bowl? What's a Pro Bowler? It's a goddamn all-star. It's an all-star. So they have a lot of talent in this team, so it was a very good sign for Chargers as well. You know, they did just open up OTAs on Monday, so right now there's not a lot of players in camp showing up right now. Of course, mandatory camp does not begin till late June, so they got about a month or so in order for all players to start showing up to minicamp and preparing for the upcoming 2023 season. Austin Eckler has still not shown up after, now getting this extension this morning. Justin Herbert has been in camp for the past few weeks. Ever since Quentin Johnson got drafted to the Chargers, both of them have been connected every single day. They're out in Costa Mesa, throwing the ball together, catching, just kind of getting cemented with this new kind of offensive coordinator, because with the new offensive coordinator and Clint Moore, you see that now the Chargers are going to look a little more different this upcoming year. They're not going to look the same Chargers that they've been looking, kind of a little depending on the run too much. And, I mean, when they depend on the run too much, it allows the defense to kind of relax because they know they're going to run. And that's the reason why Austin Eckler was the leading rusher and the leading touchdown scorer for running backs last season. But now with Kellen Moore coming in as an offensive coordinator who will actually throw the ball in the air, and that's the reason why the first round draft pick was a wide receiver. They got Justin Herbert wide receivers now. They kept Guyton. They still got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and now Allen Quentin Johnston out there. And you continue bringing in another tight end as well. So you just have weapons for Justin Herbert. So no excuses for the Chargers to not win at least 10 games this season. They won 10 last season. So with that roster they had last season, now they got a new season with these new players, especially Khalil Mack Steele being on the squad, Derwin James Steele being here. And as well, you also got Rashawn Slater coming back from his injury that he had last season, which, that was a major piece on the offensive line for Justin Herbert to be missing all year long. So with having him back and the LA Chargers having Kellen Moore, who will be the centerpiece of why the Chargers are going to look a little different this year. And that's the reason why they're on primetime. They're the leading team with the most primetime games in the 2023 season with 7 total primetime games. Every other team has at least 5. Chargers got 7. So that lets you know that they are going to be must-watch television this year. But another team that dominated on primetime this past Friday was the Los Angeles Sparks with the WNBA season tipped off. And, with the return of Brittany Griner, making her return back to the WNBA after not playing in the WNBA since the 2021 WNBA Finals Game 4, which was her last appearance in the WNBA after being in Russia for almost 10 months being detained out there. And, she got released in early December. So she's been out for about 5 months now. She automatically said right after she came back to the U.S., like, hey, I'm going to suit up. I'm getting ready for the 2023 season. And that's exactly what she did. She made her debut on Friday at the Crypto.com Arena. I did get a chance to kind of see her work out early in the morning during shoot-around. She was feeling very happy. She came over to the media people. She was like, hey, I want to give all you guys hugs for all your love and support. Very friendly, very nice person. And one thing I did notice about her, just being around her for that day, just noticed that she was so happy. The happiness of just having the freedom of being out and just being around the game again, because that was one of her main things. She was like, I love being around the team. I miss that, she said. And for her to be detained in Russia for almost 10 months and missing the whole 2022 season, it was big for her. It was huge. She came out with a bang. I mean, she hit her first shot of the game. She missed it, but then she hit it was like a 17-footer pass from Diana Taurasi. It was a nice 15-footer. She hit it, and the Phoenix Mercury looked pretty good. They're not going to be as good as this year as last year because they lost a few players. They're missing one of their other key players as well due to an injury. And the Sparks, in the other hand, whew, my Lord, they were looking better than what they've looked in like the last 5 seasons. I've seen a lot of the Sparks over the last 5 seasons. What I saw in the Sparks on Friday night, I have not seen that. You know why? Because Zia Cook is now an LA Spark, the first-round pick for the LA Sparks this past season, who Shanae Ogumike said it and tweeted it out. Rookie of the Year. She had an amazing performance on Friday night. As soon as Zia Cook checked into the game, in her first 3 minutes of action, she scored 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists in 3 minutes of action. Right after that, she came up with back-to-back threes, light up the crowd. And I tweeted during the game. I tweeted this, and I said, hey, we are watching the LA Sparks play Showtime basketball in front of Magic Johnson, who was sitting courtside, the owner of the LA Sparks, watching Showtime basketball because they were running and gunning. And that's one of the main things that Kurt Miller, head coach of the Sparks, was talking about. He was like, hey, we want to be fast. We want to play a fast-paced game, which is going to be running up and down. And if they got an open shot, they're taking it. And you also had Lexi Brown light up the scoreboard, almost 20 points out there by her, shooting a lot of threes and making them, as well as Carly Samuelson. She was another girl shooting the three and making it rain. The Sparks went up as much as 27 points in the third quarter, kind of shutting down the momentum of the Brittany Griner return, because the first half was kind of competitive. But once the third quarter came in, Zia Cook and them came in, and they just started making it rain. They really showed out, and, Nneka Ogumike got to be the leader of the team. She's playing right now on the 1-year contract. So that's something to talk about right there. When you look at Nneka Ogumike, who's been with the Sparks for almost 13 seasons, And really, a lot of people really didn't see her coming back this season after the way last season ended. You know, having Derek Fisher being fired, Liz Cambage walking out on the team in the middle of the season, certain players, you know, getting traded, leaving. The chemistry was just not all there. They lost a lot of games that season. They just kind of turned everything around. They got a new GM, Karen Bryan, coming over. Then, you know, you get a new assistant GM who kind of was already within the team, and Eli. So you get a lot of new pieces around the team. Now a lot of the speculation, a lot of the talk was like, hey, this team, it's a whole different organization. I mean, even Nneka Gumike said it during media day. She was like, I feel like this is a new team. The flow of this team, the way this team is being run now, is being run as a real WNBA team. And you got to give a lot of credit to the GM and Karen Bryan coming over and kind of changing the whole look of the LA Sparks. But the LA Sparks do have a big game this Thursday night at the Crypto.com Arena against the defending champions in the Las Vegas Aces, and as well, Candace Parker making a return to face the Sparks. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, and of course, you can also watch the breaks tomorrow afternoon and Thursday afternoon here on the Infinity Studios television.